Do you agree with this 603 text on the Subaru of New England text line? Find your authorized Subaru retailer at SubaruofNewEngland.com, which is that Alex Cora gets a pass around these parts.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
So Joe Mazzulla doesn't. Jim Montgomery doesn't.
Nope.
Yeah, but Alex Cora doesn't have the same roster those guys have. Like, Alex Cora is dealing with Kike Hernandez, who's leading the league by a mile at errors at shortstop, and a starting pitching rotation that's just a heaping pile of whatever they could find at the discount bin. And Joe Mazzulla has Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Like, there is a massive difference between what the roster Cora is dealing with and them.
We still treat him way better, though, Chaim. And whether it's, how he talks to media.
He's also
like,
won a title here, too, though.
He looks
'Cause guys like
tired.
him.
He seems tired. We give him a lot more excuses than we do any other coach, but it's because he has been so nice to people. It's
Right.
the likability of Alex Cora.
He's earned it.
Well, I think it's easy to blame Chaim Bloom because he's the guy who, you're, at least from the outside, you believe that he is constructing this team the way he wants to construct this team.
But the issue here, Greg, is that Cora at the end of spring training said this year is personal for me because of the Drellick book and the everything that came along with the championship here in 2018. And Courtney is right. And it used to be growing up here, the Red Sox manager was the worst job you ever wanted because all you got was crap. When they won, it was because of the players. When they lost, it was because of the manager. And Cora has, the taking the jacket off, the saying last Wednesday night that their team isn't good defensively. I mean, not a lot of accountability there. I'm not saying it's entirely his fault or even all his fault. Or partially, but Cora is someone that in years past would get a lot more credit.
And when you start to criticize, like the problem is Cora doesn't get as much, because people are going to say he won a title, but obviously with the whole cheating scandal, he's got to now prove it. I think the players like him, but the reason why he doesn't get as much is because people with the Red Sox, they have set their sights on Chaim Bloom, Sam Kennedy, and John Henry. And I will say in other sports, when you look at the front office, we criticize, right? We criticize what the front office does, but then we're very selective in other sports. So like with the Celtics.
Well, you need to include yourself in that because you defend the Red Sox ownership like you worked there.
No, I don't.
You do. You were doing it earlier today.
No. What I don't defend them. What I do is I just show the hypocrisy of what people are saying. I think that Chaim Bloom is doing a horrible job, but all I do is highlight the hypocrisy. The same way I go after Brad Stevens. Right? The reason why your team is the way it is because Brad Stevens built this team like it is. Right? And it started off with kind of Danny, but now it's morphed into Brad. And I said this day one. What was the purpose in adding Malcolm Brogdon when you already had two guys that do what Malcolm Brogdon does? And then that ran into a problem. Then I said at the trade deadline, why don't you go out there and get another big to help with Rob Williams, who's dealing with whatever injury he's dealing with? Because Al is not really a big rim protector. They didn't do that. That kind of came back to bite him a little bit.
But I think that the Celtics have proven after last year, with the right guy as the head coach,
right,
they are a championship caliber team.
But you don't have the right guy.
I agree. No, but I agree. Which is why I think Joe Mazzulla deserves crap. Whereas you look at Alex Cora, he has the team barely above 500 with a crap bag roster because they refuse to pay people. Prior to Chaim Bloom, Curtis is right. We used to absolutely roast every Red Sox manager when they struggled, but that's because the ownership was spending out the wazoo to make sure the roster is good.
Okay,
right now, that's not the case.
But how did he, when it comes to those who may give him a pass, how did he do last year with a roster that had Xander Bogaerts on it,
right,
Nathan Eovaldi on it, J.D. Martinez on it?
I don't disagree, but J.D. Martinez also wasn't hitting like he is last year.
Right, then wouldn't you credit whoever's coaching him if he got more out of him?
Yeah, and the year before he had them in the AL championship. Like so he had one down year with a pretty good roster.
But he hasn't done anything in 3 years.
But he's won a title compared to these other guys: Jim
yes.
Montgomery,
Well,
Joe
that
Mazzulla,
title,
Bruce Cassidy. He's the one that's won the title.
No, I will give you that.
They
Chaim.
had a little assistance, in
right?
that
But that's what people are going to say. They had assistance. So with Alex Cora, he has to show, okay, can I win a title after all of the cheating scandal? And right now, it looks like he hasn't been. Yeah, he took them 2 games when you said what was that? The ALDS?
No, ALCS against the
ALCS, right? Against the Astros. So you're 2 wins away there. You're not able to do nothing. And then the next 2 years, what have you done?
Nothing.
Right.
Last place, and currently in the same spot. This is Kevin from Quincy. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
What's up, Kev?
I think a big part of the Red Sox problem that goes under the radar is our center fielder just doesn't hustle after the ball. And, we've given him, Jarren Duran, a couple of passes now. He's one of the most athletic guys, arguably, in the whole sport as far as running, hitting, fielding, throwing. He doesn't hustle after the ball. If you watch that Little League, quote-unquote, play the other day, he doesn't back the ball up the first time. He doesn't hustle after the ball after that. And there's no accountability. It's like, oh, okay, no big deal.
And that's on the coach. Imagine if you had a center fielder that was really good. Oh, you do. But he's playing shortstop.
Here's David from Florida. Hello, David.
Good morning. I am so glad. I almost want to reach out and give you a hug, Greg, for comparing the Red Sox and Celtics organizationally and conceptually, because I've been saying it for a long time. It is just pathetic. I mean, neither team is well balanced. Neither team appreciates the values and fundamentals of the game. The managers are too soft. It's just downright frightening. And I mean, with the Red Sox, I mean, the Celtics we put to bed. I don't know what the hell they're doing, thinking about Mazzulla as a future of this team. But with the Red Sox, I mean, when was the last time you saw Cora? I mean, all he does is complain in that the team is poor defensively. But, if you're not fixing it, you're part of the problem. And he doesn't bench any. He doesn't discipline anybody. He does. I mean,
how is he going to bench anybody? Who does he have to put in?
I don't care. Put in some high. I don't care. Sacrifice the short term for the long term. He has. I mean, AJ Finch. There's that story about him benching Javi Baez. I mean, last year we talked about Aaron Boone and not bringing the closer Rick Chapman on the playoff loss because he missed a day of practice. I mean, Cora is just too. He's so permissive. It's pathetic.
Yeah, I think this is not a Cora issue. Like, this is all Chaim Bloom. Like, Cora doesn't have a choice in this. He was forced to put Kike at shortstop. Otherwise, it's Bobby Dahlbeck or Pablo Reyes. Like, he doesn't have a choice.
You're saying that Alex Cora has no input whatsoever into what's going on over there?
He's backed into a corner.
Was there at some point a meeting in which, if you want to say it's Chaim Bloom or Sam or whoever, fine, where they said, you know what? I think Chris Sale is going to be our ace this season. Based on, last couple years and the fact that he had an unfortunate injury when he tried throwing the ball in spring training, and then he fell off his bicycle, but I think this is going to be the year. There's no input whatsoever from Alex Cora into that where he goes, I don't know. I mean,
So I think there is input, and he's probably like, yeah, Chris is going to be the ace.
Oh, see, I strongly
I don't think
disagree.
there's any input. Didn't we all last season say that we didn't think that Alex and Chaim got along at all?
Yeah, there
and
was that issue.
There's tons of issues there.
He
I don't
literally
think,
said after yesterday's game, the roster is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, here's the situation. Alex Cora knew what his roster was, and at the end of spring training said, this is personal for me. Don't doubt us. We're going to have a good year. Has the roster changed at all since the end of March till today? So with this roster, and what you're seeing now is what we've seen with the Patriots, which is the allocation of blame and the protection of your job. That's what Cora's doing because it's getting a little warm with the team in last place. But Bill Belichick and the Patriots, despite everything I've said about him, have never finished in last place. And now what you're looking at this year is the potential for consecutive last place finishes, and nobody's talking about firing Alex Cora, yet we're talking about firing a guy that's won 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Who's on the precipice
Right.
of getting the most wins in the history of the sport.
Yeah, but I think that
I wanted to fire the head coach of the Bruins, who led them to the best regular season record in the history of the sport, and had one season to do it. And Alex Cora gets a pass.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
he
believe
should,
you me, they're going to stick with Chaim Bloom because of the story they wrote on Friday, and there's going to be a Bob Hohler special about all the cheating stuff Cora did that we never read about when he's let go.
Well, they both should be fired after this year if they finish in last place again. That's Chaim Bloom and Alex Cora.
But
And
Chaim said it was going to be awesome.
that's why I think John Henry won't. I think this is it for both of them. If you don't get it done, because say what you want, for some reason I feel like John Henry has like sensitive ears to what's being said about him personally, and we've seen him throw money around at this team before. That's why if this team finishes in last place, there's no way they run it back with the same people.
You are hanging your hat, and I love it about you, but you're hanging your hat on this theory that this whole entire thing is all about getting Ohtani. I think it's ridiculous to think that.
I'm telling you, that will be his main. Henry loves the positive press. You sign, and I think Sean was on this as well. You sign Ohtani, you get positive press all over the country, all over Major League Baseball, internationally, which we know John Henry loves. And it then turns the team around because we all seen this Red Sox team go from worst to first and win a World Series. So if you got Ohtani, you wouldn't think that there would be people that said, oh, the Red Sox are back?
Yeah.
I am so excited for Thursday at 9 a.m. with Chaim Bloom. That will be an interesting interview.
Yeah.
And he says he says when he's home with his wife, he says the same thing that fans says. And I said, I hope you're saying I want Ohtani. Because that's what a lot of fans are saying. And the Angels owner has already said it. If the Angels are not if they're not a contender, then they will move on because they already know what it means to have the best player in baseball. It does nothing for your franchise. Look at what's happened with Mike Trout for all those years. So why not? Do the Red Sox have enough pieces, though, to put a package together? That's a different question.
All right. Well, where do you stand right now on this Red Sox team? You could talk about that all day.
They can still grab a playoff spot.
You are so pessimistic about most franchises in this city. When it comes to the Red Sox, you are the
It's
most.
so weird.
I mean, he
It's
has
so
a point, though. They have basically the same record as the division leader in the AL Central. They just happen to be the
I
best
hate
division
that.
in
Can
baseball.
you never say that again, Chaim? They're not in that division.
I understand. They just happen to be in the best division in baseball.
Yes, they
Question,
do.
did Chaim Bloom know what division they were in this offseason?
Again,
So
a Chaim
spend
Bloom
accordingly.
problem, not an Alex Cora problem.
Spend accordingly. If you're in the best
I
division
agree.
in baseball, did they just find that out?
Nope, I totally agree with you. Again, exactly why it's a front office issue and not an Alex Cora issue.
And here's the problem, Chaim, and everybody else with that mindset. It used to be a problem that the Orioles were in the Red Sox division. Now it's a problem that the Red Sox are in the Orioles division. Who is to blame for that?
The front office and the ownership.
All right.